Before we begin, thank you very much to Lord Bear 92, I recognize that name, for joining the Patreon campaign over at patreon.com/TJOmega. Thank you for genuinely helping to keep the channel going and keeping it alive. And hey, I know not everyone can pitch into a Patreon campaign, even at $1 or $2. So if you want to keep the channel going for free, hit the like button. Please subscribe. That is really super important. It really is. So, Hasbro saw fit to give us a Fan Friday event, and this time it was for Power Rangers, which was... Okay, so it was an hour-long presentation. They showed off some preview stuff from the comic books, etc., but really the whole thing was just about the Zord Ascension project, Dino Megazord. And you know what? I've been wanting a closer look at this thing. I've been wanting to see it in detail and all the individual stuff now that the toy seems to be probably about... all the images are marked as like not final product, but it does seem like this thing is about as final as it's going to get. I can't imagine them changing it from here on out. But like now this is like we're at the super exciting phase where it's like ready for production. The pre-orders are already up. My pre-order's already in. So let's take a look at exactly what they showed off and exactly everything we're going to get for what is a $170 package. Whew. Yeah, Bandai never had the guts to release something that big, did they? So we're going to start with the individual Dino Zords, and yeah, the Tyrannosaurus looking really, really nice. Now, he looks a little bit too leggy for me, and I think that holds true in all of the Megazord combinations. Um, that's going to be a matter of opinion. To me, I wish the legs were just a little bit short because thinking back to like the Dino Megazord as a kid, watching like the Tyrannosaurus, he always was a little bit stocky and a little bit dumpy. So like the super long legs are a little bit weird to me. Um, and that kind of carries over to the Megazord, and I'll show that a little bit. But still, like the level of detail that they're going for on this is absolutely phenomenal. It's nice to see that these arms weren't hollowed out, at least not on the forearms. The visible part isn't hollowed out. Everything does look really solid on them. I like the tiny little rangers that come with these, the little scale rangers. He's got hinges here on his shins, and I'm genuinely not sure what piece of engineering that accomplishes. So that's actually going to be a little bit interesting. There's definitely some new stuff going on here that I'm not familiar with. The one thing that weirded me about the Tyrannosaurus is when it transforms into the Megazord mode, they didn't find a way to tuck in the tail tip. They just left it as just a hinge, which seems like they could have done a lot better than that these days. Pterodactyl, not a whole lot different. We see some translucent plastic inlay there. Okay, so to make this clear, so to speak, I have no problem with clear plastic when it's just done as a detailed piece that is glued in like this. My only issue with the translucent plastic is when it's used for engineering and connection points, things that will fail over time due to the constant stress that they are under. As a detail, I'm perfectly fine with it, and this does look interesting. It's not the most accurate depiction of the Megazord, but I do think it adds an interesting twist to the original design. I'm not against it. I'm not against it, because I do like how it looks. Ultimately, yeah. And also, like, I'm a can of spray paint away from fixing it if it bothers me. We go and look at the Mastodon. When we get to the Megazord, the Mastodon's going to have... Actually, no. I was going to say the Mastodon's going to have some too, but I just realized that in this mode, it's painted detail. When we get to the robot mode, there is going to be translucent inlay to the shoulders. Okay, that's actually interesting. That gives them a more distinct look that actually makes it look more transformative. I think that's actually kind of cool. Something else that's really cool about this one in particular, the trunk is now articulated. Like, for the first time that I can remember, the Mastodon will have an articulated trunk that can actually curl in both directions. That's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. All right. Triceratops. Not a whole lot of shock or surprise here. It just looks like the same old Triceratops tank it's always been. Doesn't look like we get the horns firing out with the chains, so it's not the Chogokin or anything, but it still looks really, really nice. And then the saber-toothed tiger, again, looking okay. I would have really preferred, because like my mental image of the saber-toothed tiger is like when it jumps off the cliff once it's summoned, like the flailing leg thing. So I always wish that they had better articulation for the saber-toothed tiger, or at least maybe a little bit thicker leg too, because the legs are always like super scrawny on this one. But it looks okay. There actually do seem to be some kind of elbow joint there. I wish there was an ankle joint. And then the back legs just look like solid pieces, so that's unfortunate. I'm trying to figure out I'm trying to figure out if this it looks like it's fake wheels on the outsides, and then on the insides might be real wheels, weirdly enough. Okay, so the individual Zords are fine. It's of course it's the big combination that we need to talk about. Look at how beautiful this thing is. The detail level is just impeccable on here. The translucent inlays add a unique flavor to it. We can see there. Now on the shoulders, you can see that translucent yellow. And you can tell that it is not like the whole shoulder is made up of it and they just painted over it. You can tell it's just an inlaid piece. It's just, I don't mind those little additions. There's part of me that like just make a stock Megazord, and there's always going to be that part of me that just wants a Megazord that looks dead on accurate to how it looks in the show. And outside of the X Plus release, I think it was, that's just absolutely gigantic. I don't think we're ever going to get that. But I don't mind the additions in the interest of keeping it fresh and giving it a unique twist. Something that's actually more common that I've seen on a lot of past Megazords is adding the gold to the sword, which is not show accurate, but I do like the look. So we'll let it pass. And we see all 5 of the Rangers. There's a little, it's showing off articulation here too. Bicep swivel, elbow, wrist, neck. It's great to see that there is neck articulation in this thing, because the way that this toy transforms, it's really easy for it to miss. Hips work, thighs work, knees bend, ankles tilt. The only thing I'm really missing here is a waist joint with the pterodactyl on the front and the Tyrannosaurus tail in the back. That would be really difficult. I kind of think I know how you would accomplish that, but in the sake of keeping this simple, yeah, I think that's as close as you're going to get. So we have to sacrifice that. I actually like this shot because if you look, they've snuck the Rangers into the battle damage diorama they've set up. So you can just spot the Rangers just kind of posing in the debris. It's a weird little setup because, like, with the smoke and the damaged buildings, it almost looks like the Megazord is the one who did all this trashing, because they didn't put any, like, there's no monster fighting here. It's just, it just looks like the Megazord went to town, which we have seen in the show. There was an evil version showing off a few new things. The cannons over the shoulders. The original could not do that. The hands as well. Just looking so nice. Yeah, and the saber-tooth tiger tilts too, which is the harder one to do with everything going on that piece. Here's the Easter egg everyone really liked. So the face of the Megazord is removable, and inside you can see a sticker of the 5 Rangers in the cockpit. That's really cool. I don't know how often I'm going to rip my Megazord's face off to see it, but it's nice to know it's there. And then we have the Megazord in the tank mode, if the image will zoom out. Yes, it will. This one looks fine. I do take a couple little bits of... I do take a couple little issues with it. This is where we kind of tell that the Mastodon head is a little bit too small for some of the modes. Like, it should be much more... It should be a little bit bigger here. The saber-tooth tiger's feet should be pointed forward. That's an inaccuracy, but I do like that the teeth can rotate up. Since the tusks can rotate up and match the Triceratops, that is show accurate. So, I mean, the tank mode is what it is. It's not going to be. It's the additional mode. It's that thing that stood. It's that thing that killed an extra 30 seconds worth of TV time every time they transformed. But yeah, so it's nice Noah can at least still do it, and I wonder how well it rolls, considering the weight distribution on this thing must be a nightmare. And let's see, there's a shot of all the Dinozords together. Again, it looks like they destroyed the town. I'm not going to question that. I'm just going to assume it's one of Rita's plots and leave it at that. Why does it look like the saber-toothed tiger is scratching its butt on the buildings? Why did they tuck him away like that? I'm also noticing like jaw articulation. That's cool. Jaw articulation. That's cool. Jaw articulation. But of course, I expect that out of the Tyrannosaurus. He's even got the guns in his mouth. Like that's a really cool touch to remember. Yeah, this thing looks absolutely spectacular. Um, I need to go back to the product page to get the size of it. So here's a cool detail. Here's a really cool detail. Every one of the Zords has a little flip-up panel on the head so you can see the internal cockpit of the Ranger. That's a really neat detail. There it is on the Mastodon, the Pterodactyl, which is, I would think, the hardest one to do. Tiny. Triceratops, saber-toothed tiger, brilliantly done. The thing I really kind of wish that these were painted, and I don't mean the figure. I don't mean the Ranger in the cockpit, because I know that's a incredibly tiny part, and expecting that to be like well painted is just like a pipe dream. No, I wish the back of it was painted. I wish the back of it was painted in that dark gray of the cockpit of the original toy, of the original show rather. That's what I wish. That way, the figure, instead of just being this like blob of color, like another bit of like yellow ridges, you could actually see the Yellow Ranger, and it'd be like much more prominent. So I don't know if I have the guts to take paint to $170 toy, but if I was going to, it'd be that, because it does seem to be pretty simple, and I think it would add a lot to this little feature. That does cause an issue with the Black Ranger, which is why I say dark gray, because maybe that'll get it to pop a little bit, but still, I think that is a really cool touch to include. And then the last shot is the box itself, which is just super pretty. And the best part about this entire release, there's no NFT involved. Oh, I've seen a lot of monkey pictures lately that shows me just how stupid an NFT is. Yeah, this is looking absolutely amazing. Now, the question we ask ourselves, is it worth It's very specific. I keep saying $170, but it's actually $165.99, which is weird that they even bumped it up from like, why not around like $159.99 or even $169.99? It's not even like $164.99, like right in the middle, like that 165. No, they tacked an extra dollar on. No, this was $166 precisely. So let's see. One and 1/44th scale. The fun part about that is I know 1/144th is also I know that's also a scale they make Gundams in, so you could actually have this scale to Gundams, oddly enough, which I think is actually hilarious. It says the scale is 1/144th, but does it actually tell me the height of it? No, it does not. I think it's close to a foot tall. Yeah, why doesn't it tell me how tall it is? It just says it's 1/144th scale. That's a weird detail to leave out. See, I'm looking through here, like if there's any details I'm missing that I have to know. See, in the company of great model kits and displays that exist. So they're intentionally scaling it so it works with like Gundam pieces and all that. See, inspired by the original concept art, and they actually mentioned Zyuranger by name. The Ultimate Display Piece Part 1, 2, and 3. They're promising Easter eggs abound, so I'm actually wondering if there's anything snuck into these besides just the cockpits. And let's see. Unique unboxing experience. Okay. So the box. Okay, so there's something to the box besides a styrofoam insert. Good to know. Zap is a whole new ecosystem of Zord compatibility, collectability. MZ0101 is only the beginning. Why is it 0101010101? I'm looking forward to that release. That's a different tokusatsu. Why is it 0101? Why not just 1? Like, why do you complicate it? Or is it like the first number is the series and the second number? That's probably what it is, isn't it? That's probably what it is. So like 020, like 0102 is going to be the Dragon Zord, 0103 would be Titanus, and then like 0201 would be the Thunder Megazord. I'm predicting that's how the number scheme goes. Again, why didn't you just list how tall the freaking thing is? Like, that does... 1/44 scale doesn't do me much good when I don't know how tall this thing was actually supposed to be in the show. But I'm going to call it there, because that's... I just wanted an excuse to just examine these up close. And these just look... This just looks so good. Like, this looks like everything I ever wanted out of a Megazord. The thing that Legacy Collection, that Bandai in general would not do, I'm glad to see Hasbro doing. It is far more expensive than I'd like to pay, but from what I can tell, they're going all out, and it's getting bang for my buck here. So we'll see how it works out. Let me know if you think it's worth the big price tag in the bottom. Let me know if you're looking forward to any other Easter eggs that they might have snuck in. What is missing? Like, that's the other thing. For all the things that you could get out of this type of Megazord, what is missing? You know, is there an accessory? Is there a feature? Do you wish he had the super tiny gloved hands that they had to use in the show anytime he had to manipulate small objects? Let me know in the comments below, and I will see you guys the next time I turn on a camcorder. Guys, I am facing the most powerful enemy any YouTuber can face, the algorithm, and I need your help to defeat him. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and leave a comment. Every time you do, we attack that algorithm and we drive it back until it can no longer defeat this channel. Thank you very much.